All right, let's get right into it. Microsoft has rolled out a new framework that's seriously changing how we should think about AI solving problems. It's called AutoGen. And the big idea here is instead of one AI working alone, it builds a team, a whole orchestra of AI agents that can actually talk, debate, and work together. This is a pretty huge shift, so let's break down what that really means. So it all really starts with this one simple but really powerful question. What if AI could work in teams? What if, instead of just shooting a prompt to a single AI, you could hand off a complex problem to a whole crew of specialized AIs and let them figure it out together? That's the core idea we're going to dig into. And this is where that orchestra metaphor really comes to life. On the left, you've got the soloist, a single AI. It's thinking all by itself, it only has one point of view, and let's be honest, it's not great at checking its own work. But then, on the right, you've got the orchestra, an entire AI team. They can actually debate ideas, bring in different perspectives, and peer review each other's work. The difference in the quality of the final results, well, it can be massive.
Okay, so to really appreciate what the orchestra can do, we first have to understand the limits of that solo performance. Why isn't one super powerful AI always enough to get the job done right? What's really interesting here is just how human these problems feel. A single AI, just like a person working alone in a bubble, gets tunnel vision. It's stuck with one perspective. There's no one there to challenge its assumptions or to say, hey, wait a minute, did you think about this? It can't debate the pros and cons, so if it starts down the wrong path, there's nothing to nudge it back in the right direction. So if the problem is that the AI is working in isolation, the solution seems kind of obvious, right? Give it a team. And that is exactly what Microsoft's AutoGen framework is built to do.
Let's just be super clear on what this is. AutoGen is an open source framework, which is great because it means anyone can use it, and it's coming straight from Microsoft. Its entire job, its whole reason for being, is to let developers build apps where these different AI agents can have real conversations and work together to get things done. And this is the crucial part. This isn't just technology for technology's sake. The goal here is deeply inspired by us, by people. It's trying to copy the way the best human teams work. We all know that when you get people with different skills in a room, challenging each other and building on ideas, you get much better, stronger solutions. AutoGen is all about bringing that exact same collaborative magic to the world of AI. Now, this all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work in practice? I mean, how do you get a bunch of AIs to have a productive chat instead of just talking in circles? Well, it turns out you need to set some rules of engagement. AutoGen basically sets up a playbook for these AI conversations. First, the agents are conversational. They talk using natural language. Second, and this is so important, each agent gets a specific job. You might have one AI that's a coder, another that's a critic, and maybe one that acts as the user. Third, you define when the conversation is done, so it doesn't just go on forever. And finally, you always have the option for a human to step in, kind of like the manager, to provide feedback or approval. Let's make this concrete with an example because this is where it really clicks. Imagine you have a bug in your code. So, step 1, you the human just describe the problem. Step 2, an AI coder agent jumps in and says, I got this, proposing a fix. But it doesn't end there. Step 3, an AI critic agent looks at that code and says, hold on, that might fix the bug, but it could cause this other problem over here. And then step 4, they talk it out, going back and forth, refining the solution until they land on something that's way better than what either of them could have come up with alone. Okay, so we get the theory, but who's actually using this right now? And what are they really doing with it? Let's look at the practical side of things. The list of users is already pretty diverse, which is a good sign. You've got enterprise developers, especially those who are already bought into the Microsoft ecosystem. AI engineers are using it to build really complex automations. Researchers are loving it for running experiments, but it's also being picked up by businesses and data scientists for doing some really sophisticated analysis workflows. And what kind of stuff are they accomplishing? Well, it's exactly the kind of work that screams for a team. Things like generating complicated code that absolutely needs a review, or doing deep research that requires pulling info from a ton of different sources. Even creating content, where you need a writer, an editor, and a fact checker. These are all perfect jobs for an AI team. Now, as powerful as this all sounds, it's definitely not the right tool for every single job. So let's get practical and talk about when you should call in the AI orchestra and when you probably shouldn't. So when should you use AutoGen? Definitely for any task that gets better with a little debate and a few different points of view. If you're already deep in the Microsoft world, it's a natural fit. A huge plus is its ability to not just write code, but to actually run it and see if it works. And for those big, messy research and analysis projects, it's a fantastic tool. On the flip side, when should you avoid it? Well, it's total overkill for simple one-shot tasks. If you just need a quick answer, a single AI is perfectly fine. All that back-and-forth conversation takes time, so it's not great for real-time apps where speed is critical. And don't forget, every message from every agent is another API call, so the costs can add up. And honestly, if you're just dipping your toes into AI, it's probably better to start with something simpler. This chart puts it all into perspective really nicely. Using a single AI, that's the easiest, hands down. A competitor like Crew AI is also pretty easy to get started with, but it's not as hyper-focused on the conversation itself. What makes AutoGen really stand out is that intense focus on the back-and-forth dialogue, its built-in ability to execute code, and of course, having the official backing of Microsoft. That tells you it's probably here to stay.
So let's zoom out. What does all this mean for the future? Where is this whole trend of collaborative AI really taking us?
If you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this right here. The true innovation with AutoGen isn't just about writing better code or automating more tasks. Its real power is that it's teaching AI a fundamental human skill, how to work together. This is that moment where AI starts to shift from being just a tool we use to becoming a true collaborator we can work with. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought to chew on. Think about the biggest, most complex challenges we face in science, medicine, engineering, you name it. What problems could we finally crack if our most powerful AIs could not only think, but could argue, debate, critique each other's work, and ultimately agree on the best way forward? The possibilities are kind of staggering.